Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
It's April 20th, 2025.
Sunday.
Yeah. And what coffee shop are we at right now?
This Luce?
Luce. We're at one almost named after me right here. Luce. We're at Cafe Luce near, where are we at?
West University?
Near West University. Yeah. Near the college district, right? Or what would you consider West University to be? There's definitely college students here studying.
Mm-hmm.
So, but study never stops, even for the holidays.
Never. I try to graduate.
I understand that. I remember those days. What did you get? I got an Americano. This is actually really nice.
Oh, really? Chai latte.
Chai latte?
Nice.
Okay. How much does this cost?
Too much.
Too much? It's about $11, $12, right? Yeah. So, did I tell you my dream about how expensive everything was going to get? I felt like the dream told me how expensive.
This was like a couple of years ago.
It was a couple of years ago. Yeah, I had a really vivid dream where I felt like it was telling me how bad inflation was going to get. But in the dream, I was at a coffee shop, much like this one, and the lady told me I could have any two things in the case, any two pastries, little breads or whatever, for $18, and that was their deal.
Yeah.
So now whenever we go to the coffee shop and we order two things, I always check and see
if it's
close to 18.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. There's a few things where I buy now where it'll be three things, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be like 23 or 22. And then sometimes what I try to do is I try to do the math and say, well, was two of those 18? And then the third, put it over to like 23 or 24.
Yeah, it probably was.
And I think we're getting I think we're pretty much there, if not close to it. Like if you buy two, but when you buy three. Yeah, two things immediately become $18.
It's one of those things that's inevitable, I guess.
Is it inevitable?
Just because if we're resetting the economy, I mean, I guess that's how you reset it, is increase everything available, and hopefully people stop purchasing, and the supplies will become a little bit more abundant.
Well, there's things you have to buy. So, for example, at my job, we use iPads, right? So then, those iPads are pretty, I don't want to call them like disposable, but they're kind of disposable because they go through use so much. Those batteries go through the battery cycles, and every other person I talk to is like, yeah, there's something wrong with my iPad. Now, the company gives us a battery charger to use with the iPad, but, sometimes I don't use it because you're mandated to keep it charged to a certain level. And if you use it during the day, you can't charge the battery and your iPad at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, so what I do is I keep the factory one charged, the one that the company gives us, and then I use Anchor products. Well, to make a long story short, I was using a really good Anchor battery product. It was a battery / power cord with the prongs that you can plug it into a 110 outlet, charge a battery, and then you could plug your device directly into it. And then you got a 10,000 milliamp battery that you're charging, and then you're charging your iPad off of that, and your phone and whatever else you have. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
I forgot it one time, and I didn't realize how much I used it until I realized, like, oh crap, I got a new charger, I got a new cord, So then, and this whole like USB-C thing to Apple Lightning adapter, like you think it wouldn't be a big deal, but it kind of is because you're basically dealing with like three variations of port. You got USB-C, USB-A, and then you got Lightning adapter. And you can only have so many cords that carry that as three combinations, right? So anyway, make a long story short, I forgot one of the chargers. No, I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost the Anchor one. So I'm like, okay, I'll just buy it. So I went to Best Buy. Best Buy doesn't have it. So then I went to eBay. eBay didn't have it. Then I went to Amazon, and Amazon had it sold through the Anchor store. It was still $100. It was expensive.
Gulp.
Yeah, gulp, indeed. But then, like, I guess Anchor knows that the tariffs are coming through, so they're trying to bundle their products now. So they're like, well, you have one, but if you get two, you pay a little more, but like the prices on both go down.
Yeah.
So I threw another charger on there, another like battery pack / charger, and it was like $150 for two battery packs. earbuds that before.
And they're trying to sell you that extra one because it's not as popular if people were to buy it on its own. So they bundle it up with something else that's popular.
Exactly.
And that's how they get rid of their inventory.
Yeah.
And they get money.
Exactly. I was surprised there wasn't a new version of that charger that I was using, but it seemed like it was that old one, and then that was it. And they quit making it, and now everybody's like trying to go for it.
Yeah.
And I lost two. Now I had another. I mean, electronics are expensive, and they're kind of disposable. I mean, you forget it, it's gone. You need it for your work.
Well,
you have to buy another one. The prices go up.
They're not disposable if their cost is that high. I mean, you really can't lose it now because the next time you buy it, it's probably going to be $200.
Yeah.
So, and who knows? Maybe people are stealing it now.
Like off the back of a truck.
Or no, just if you leave it out and then it's just like take it. And
maybe mine got stolen.
Maybe.
Because it was there and then it was gone, and I have no idea where it went.
So someone might have swiped it away. And
maybe. I mean, I might just find it in my room.
Maybe you just bought yourself the same one that someone repackaged.
I think it was new. It looked new. It didn't have the scratches on it. But then, well, I lost another thing too. And this one was because I got a little flustered at work because there was a lot going on. But I used my Samsung earbuds, and I used those and I put them in because my phone, if I hold my phone against my ear, it like microwaves the side of my head. Like it gets really hot.
Yeah.
It's not cool, So I use these earbuds. Well, then I lost the case. I still had the earbuds, but I lost the case. And I couldn't find the case.
How do you charge that?
Well, fortunately, I was able to go onto eBay and I was able to download a new case. I was able to purchase a new case. Apparently, there's these resellers that just have the case, have the left bud, have the right bud. We were just able to download it. I keep saying download it. I was able to buy it, and so there's these aftermarket sellers that they can just sell you just the left bud. They can just sell you just the right bud. They can sell you just the case. I mean,
it's like auto parts.
Yeah.
Where's the salvage?
It's like the salvage yard.
Place, yeah. You have to go look for it yourself, though.
Well, it kind of begs the question, like, how are these people just going to get one earbud? How are they just going to have like a left bud or a right bud? Or how do you...
They stole it.
They stole just the left ones?
No. Either they stole the whole thing, and then whoever lost the right one, they just need the right one.
And they're parting them out?
Yeah. I feel like that they get more money by selling the parts, not selling the whole thing.
Well, the Samsung, they're the Buds Pro, or the AirBuds 2 Pro. Buds 2 Pro, I keep, you get them confused, but the Samsung Buds 2 Pro, they're about $150 brand new. I bought them. So this guy's selling the case for $25, and then he's selling just the left bud for $40, and then just a right bud for $40.
So you get
$80.
It gets more for selling pieces.
I don't. Yeah, maybe. It's just so odd, right? Like, how do they do it? I remember seeing a photo of when they were assembling these things in China, and then they'll have like a gigantic bucket full of just like the left earbuds.
Yeah.
Or have a giant bucket just full of the right earbuds, and then they'll have a gigantic bucket just full of the cases, and then they just like put them together, send them on their way. And it's probably like pennies for them to assemble, and we're paying like so much money for them.
I think that's just how businesses work. Right?
Yeah.
They're in it for the money.
Yeah.
They're in it for the profits. So, yeah, it's simple, it's easy, it's supposed to be cheap, so they maximize the supply and demand.
Right.
So if it's the latest products, then people are willing to pay $100, $150 because it's the latest product.
Right.
Even though it might be less.
So what happens to the old product?
Those are probably used for people that can't part ways with the old ones. Like they like that brand, that style, that they don't want to upgrade to the new styles, so they'll keep replacing it.
I think there's an argument too that maybe the old stuff works better than the new stuff. Because I've noticed that, especially in the past 2 years, I've noticed some of the new stuff that they come out with has less features or is less effective than the.
Songs just went out.
Huh?
There's no music.
There's no music. Do you think they're listening to what we're saying, or do you think they just ran out of the CD?
I don't know. It's weird how that happens. Like a lot when we do.
We do the podcasting.
Yeah.
They just turn off the music.
Like,
I should like listen to it.
do you feel like there's eyes on you right now?
I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. I think they just forgot to reset the CD. So anyway, well, it's not even a CD anymore, right? It's like Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah. They forgot to reset the streaming. So I'm probably like, in terms of like earbuds that I bought and then I lost, I'm probably like $1,400 into it.
Oh my god.
No, I'm for real. Like, it's criminal, right? Because like,
oh yeah, there was.
oh yeah, there he goes. He's resetting it. Okay. He's like, yeah, this Bluetooth doesn't work. Right when we were talking about how like how the old stuff works better than the new stuff. I'm telling you, when I bought speakers back in the day, like those things would just keep cranking.
Yeah.
Dude. Like they didn't break connection. They didn't lose Wi-Fi. I mean, those things just kept on going, dude. And it even started making its own music. like the speakers were like, I know what my job is. You know, I am gonna play music. You know. Yeah, see, he's got like the remote. He's trying to like, and that's like the new stuff. The new stuff just doesn't work. And I feel like it was like the first pair of AirPods I ever bought was in New Jersey, and that's when they were making a big deal about the noise canceling. And when I put that noise canceling in, I mean, it worked, right? I mean, that sucker, like, it worked really well. I put them on in a crowded shopping mall. You couldn't hear anything. I remember the old pair of noise cancelings I ever had was a Bose 2.5.
Oh, those are supposed to be the good brand.
The Quiet Comforts, and those things you could not hear anything, right? But nowadays, like, so the first AirPods I bought, I lost those, like, almost fast. Like, within 2 days, I lost them.
Oh.
Yeah, I left them in a hotel room in New Jersey, and I never saw them ever again. And I was pretty salty about it. So then, of course, I go and I buy another pair. Because I'm like, no, I will not be denied my experiences as a consumer. So I bought another pair of, $300 whatever.
Oh my god.
Oh, noise canceling. And these ones lasted a little bit longer, but I don't think they lasted even like a year, right?
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they last, because you lose them. Or maybe they get stolen, I don't know, Or you get so concerned about losing them that you put them somewhere safe, and then you end up losing them anyway, right?
Yeah.
So then for a while there, I started buying like the really cheap ones, like the Jobbies off of Amazon. But then the battery never worked. They would lose connection.
Yeah.
So I finally bought these Buds 2, the Samsungs, right? And I think I've kept these for the longest time. I think these were almost going like a year and a few months. And I mean, they were amazing. Now, I wouldn't say the noise canceling is as good as the original AirPods noise canceling was, but I mean, they were good. I liked them. You could put them in. They were easy to use. They hooked up to the phone immediately, and you just like, let's go, citizen. It was pretty good.
So a year is like pretty good then.
If something lasts me for about a year, then I think it's pretty good. My usual lifespan with like electronic products is like a year, and I think with computers, if I get like 2 years out, no, you know what? I get a lot of use out of computers.
Yeah,
I do, because now that I think about it, I still use my old Surface Book, the original, from like 2017 when I bought it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that thing's going on like 8 years old now.
Is that the one where you actually had to go get it kind of like refurbished?
I got the battery replaced. Yeah. They're making the new ones easy to work on. But the old ones where it was held together with glue, you could not do anything with it, right? So, but I found this guy in Texas that was willing to work on it, and he put in a new 1 gigabyte hard drive, and he put in a new battery, and 2 batteries actually, Yeah, because when the Surface first came out, you could get one. You could get the, I think it was called the Power Base, where it had 2 batteries, or you could get the regular one because it had the whole thing with it was it had a detachable screen.
Oh.
So you could detach the screen, use it like a tablet, and then the battery was in the tablet. The battery was in the screen, and then you could get the Power Base, and the Power Base had 2 more batteries in it. So if you hook, so the whole idea was that it was supposed to be like a 12-hour battery life.
Oh wow. Okay.
Anyway, I got I got the batteries changed out of it, and I still use it because out of all the computers that I use, I feel like this Surface Book, the original one, was like the easiest one to type on. Yeah, because it had like metal keys on it, and it had like that butterfly effect. That like I guess we call it like a butterfly hinge underneath.
Okay.
So
it felt like you were actually typing.
it like I wouldn't want to say it mimicked a mechanical calculator, but it is by far the most comfortable keyboard I've ever typed on. It like cushions your fingers as you type, you know. And I'm like, I mean, when you type, you know, because if you like actually like, because back then they wrote it for you to like do heavy word processing on. So
Like
when you write, you know, you're banging on that keyboard for a few hours, and it's very comfortable. And the newer Surface Books I bought, even like the MacBooks, they don't have a keyboard I feel like is as comfortable as the old one or as ergonomic, you know.
Yeah.
The MacBook Air, the keys are like plastic, and when you type on it, they don't have. It's like you're banging your fingers against the table.
Okay.
You know, and it's not like you can type on it for a while, but you get tired easily. You don't have that endurance like you do with the first Surface Book, and even like the Surface Studio 2 laptop. You know, because they had the Surface Studio, which was the big one with the hinge that would fold down. And, yeah, nobody bought it.
Really?
Well, I mean, if they did, they'd still be selling it. Well, I think everybody traveled, right?
Yeah.
So they wanted laptops. So the Surface Studio 2 laptop, the one with the integrated graphics processor, that keyboard isn't comfortable.
It's not.
No, I feel like the keys are plastic, and they don't have that same effect.
But it's probably cheaper to make it that way.
It's more expensive to buy, but it's cheaper to make. Yeah, so I feel like the stuff from like pre-COVID was a lot better. Like we had it really good and we didn't even really know it because everybody was trying to like throw their features out there, get people hooked onto it. So you could buy like whatever, and it just had so much stuff you didn't even need on it. You know, it had like premium sound, premium materials, Alcantara, right? So like. What is it? It's like back in the day, all the Surface products came with Alcantara. You know, it's like that premium cloth.
Yeah.
Like, you know, gold inlay trim. I mean, everything was like really nice. I mean, even the old iPad Air that I bought, the old one, had like a gold inlay around the screen.
Oh really?
Yeah, it had it had like the tiniest, like the bezel. It had the tiniest strip of gold. Like around it. And it was beautiful because the screen was black. The case was like gray, and then they had like I want to say it was like gold or silver. Or they had like this little accent coloring, you know, like they really cared.
Yeah.
But then now you get the new stuff. It doesn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Like even our work iPads, like it's just black against gray. You know, even the keys black. There's no bezel.
Yeah.
There's no like really highly detailed artistic touch that they used to put back in the day.
Okay.
You know, it's like they build electronics nowadays knowing that.
Do you think it's because that that embellishment, the trim, messes with the touch screen? Or gives it more room?
It never messed with the touchscreen on mine. No, I think they just ran surveys and they realized that people either don't care.
They don't care,
Yeah, they either don't care or they don't use it. And I know Microsoft was a big offender with this too. Microsoft for a while there, they would put features. Everybody would be like, "Wow, this is the coolest thing ever," and then they would take the features away. And they were like, "What did you just do?" Like, he used to be able to do some really cool stuff with Microsoft, but they would take stuff away, like you know.
It's added cost, right? So you take it away, try to keep it the same price, or you take it away and increase the price.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Or like you said, it's the operational cost. Like everything's getting more expensive.
Yeah.
But then they're making it cheaper. And it's like, at what point are we just buying like a barcode? Or at what point are we just buying like a thin replica of what it used to be? And I feel like, and then going back to the noise canceling earbuds, I feel like it's the same way. Like, I thought the Buds 2 were good, and they were good. I feel like the previous revisions of the AirPods weren't as good as the first ones. Because even the second pair of AirPods I bought, even though it was the same brand, the same everything, I think it was just like a year apart when I bought them. Because they were like really expensive, right? Like
as far as I can remember.
When I lost that first pair, it burned because I financed it through T-Mobile, and I was like,
you can get another one until you paid it off.
Well, when I finally did buy the second one, I paid for it cash. But then I'm like, I am not buying a second pair of earbuds while I'm still financing the first one. You know, I mean, that hurt, man. That really hurt. Like, it got me right there. But even when I finally bought the second pair and I like unwrapped them and put them in, I feel like they never worked as good as the first pair. Like, I think so. Even internally, they were like, "Hey, this is too expensive. We need to like back this off a little bit."
So,
like, you know.
So if you could have somehow found your old ones, you would take the old ones versus these new ones you had bought.
I think so. Yeah. And I think a lot of technology are like that. I think we're just taking a big step backwards on a lot of this stuff. So.
Well, that's unfortunate because you think every new product that comes out is supposed to be better and worth the extra money that you pay for.
Yeah.
But in reality, what you should be doing is getting the older model that's on sale and just get that.
Yeah.
So, because the newer products is just way too new, that there's a lot of glitches, that it's probably not worth it.
Well, it goes back to the question also. So now we go back to like the tariff situation, right? Because what if, for example, they found out that they just did this stuff just to increase their profit margin already on something that they were already making a lot of profit on.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know what?
Let's just be greedy.
Let's just be greedy, right? Yeah. Because if you do a business in America, if you make like a 15% profit margin, that's considered good. And even at 15% that you have to fight for, you know, even that's under attack, right? Because you got credit card processing fees. Yeah. You got shipping fees, right?
Yes.
We're kind of experimenting with that with our eBay experiment. We'll talk about that in a second. But you know, but then like China, if they're making like 50% profit margin, if they're making like 60% profit margin, I mean, you know, and then you find out that they like took features away and charge people more. Then it's like, what the hell's going on here? You know?
Who's making the bucks?
Well, who's getting taken advantage of? Right.
The consumer.
Well, the consumer.
Yeah.
Well, like Elon Musk said, he's like, they charge more for Teslas in America because Americans can pay more, and that's simply why they charge more for them. And he may be right, like to a certain degree.
Wait, I thought Teslas were manufactured here.
Yeah. Well, they sell them in China too.
Oh. But they don't pay as much?
They don't pay as much in China.
What?
Yeah. It's kind of wild, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought because it's considered an import to them.
Yeah.
They'd pay more.
Yeah.
No?
Well, I'm not even sure how the international business works, but yeah.
How does that work?
So they import the materials from China, they assemble it in America, they export it back out to China, and somehow the finished product is cheaper
over there
than it is in America. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, they may have a point with this, because I think the thing is, America, like, we also have access to the credit markets, right? So people are willing to take on more debt because they're able to with the credit markets, right? Because they're always like working magic. They're always like, okay, well, you can roll your existing balance into the new product. You can always like, you can always like, we've always had a credit crisis here in America, right? And I don't think in Southeast Asia, I don't think you can take out a credit card like you can here in America.
Right. Credit cards are a new thing in Japan.
Right. Right. Like they're behind. So they're kind of where they're at with credit cards right now, where we were back in the 90s.
Even way back.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a teenager going over there, and even as a young adult, they didn't really quite accept credit cards. Like, I can have a credit card, but they didn't really accept it.
Right.
They'd rather have you pay Japanese yen. So
Cash. Right.
So you always had to have cash on hand when you traveled, and whatever you wanted to buy. If it was like over $100, you had to have $100 worth of cash with you.
Yeah, you had to have it on you now. Yeah.
And it's good in a way, because at least you know what you brought in that's it. You're not overspending beyond what you brought in. But I was just like, why don't they just take credit cards? It's so much easier.
Well,
but now they do, right?
I mean, they do. I've never had an issue, but I always go to like the tourist areas. In fact, I've gone to places now where I've actually converted yen, and I'm about to leave and I still have all this yen, because everywhere I went, they just took credit card.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe like the pachinko parlors or whatever.
Or like the old countryside where it's like a mom and pop shop. They don't accept credit cards. Like, they don't have a way to accept those.
But even now they do.
Do they?
I mean, I don't know if qualify. I wouldn't be going to mom and pop shops because I wouldn't be able to talk to them. But like when I'm walking around like old Osaka and old Tenri, yeah, I mean, they have credit card terminals, and I've never had an issue with them being able to run my stuff.
Okay, because I know, like, the place that we've been to near the church, we've always like just paid cash, like 100 yen, 500 yen, 1,000 yen.
Oh well, like at the in like the Hondori. Yeah. But those are people that like super old school, right? But then the prices are cheaper too.
Yeah.
Because I think credit does two things. One, credit makes things more expensive, but then credit also allows people to overspend.
Yep.
You know, spend 130%, 140%, 150% of what they bring in. So for every dollar you bring in, you're able to spend, $110. Now it's like $150. Now for every dollar you bring in, you can spend somehow $250 of it. And that's where we've been.
Yeah. It doesn't give people much thought process of whether they want to purchase it or not, especially with credit. Like, oh, I'll take it.
Yeah.
With cash, it's another thing. It's like, oh, hey, do I even have that much cash to be able to spend? And then you start to kind of think, okay, I really don't need it. It's gonna take a lot for me to take it back to the States.
Another thing that happens too is when you have this like high credit, is that I think it breaks the fundamental concepts of like supply and demand, right? Because one of the things I've seen, because we go into collectibles a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I pay attention to the market on the collectibles. I've never been in a market where you can have so much excess supply of a product, yet prices stay high on it. You know, and I know that was something that mystified me, because it seemed like that was breaking the basic fundamentals, because you would otherwise have like, you would have too much, then people would have to sell it to make room for the new stuff.
Right.
But I've never seen it where you can have so much inventory stacked up and the prices stay high for so long.
Especially in the cards for MTG, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen the prices go on sale or the prices come down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they're doing is that whole bundling thing, the mystery boxes.
Exactly.
I think that's what they're doing. So they don't bring the prices down. Instead, the better idea is take all the different elements or the different themes, is that what you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Of the cards.
Yeah.
Bundle up together and then sell it for even higher price.
Right. So like you got this one card that you need to sell,
mm-hmm.
and it's like the fair market for it is like $50,
mm-hmm.
right? And then like nobody's gonna spend 50, or maybe you're trying to, but everybody's being savvy, you know, everybody's got to list it for 50. So what you would do is you would maybe like sell it slightly lower, the card itself, but then you would bundle it with like
mm-hmm.
something else, and then maybe the overall cost would increase. So like you'll get this card, but you'll also get all this other stuff too.
You have to get the other stuff,
you know? So like, yeah, you're kind of overpaying for this card, but you're getting all this other tertiary stuff that you didn't really need, but it's a bundle. Like it's a deal. You're getting it.
So you think it's a deal?
Well, we're trying it out. Yeah. And it might be a deal, it might not, but it might be just our way to like move excess product.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like these battery chargers, right? So I had to buy one. And what happens is everybody remembers, like, no, this thing used to cost $100.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am not spending $120 for it. I don't care if I need it, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they're like, okay, well, you can buy it for $100, and then you can also get this one really cheap at a discount. So then you end up spending $150 for a charger that would have only been $100, you know. And then you're getting like this extra stock that would have been taking up shelf space anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's all tactics.
It's all tactics. It's all marketing. It's all tactics. It's all mind games. It's like, how do you just view it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you start to think, I might need it later, or this one might crap out, so I might need the other one. Instead of buying it at a different time for a higher price, might as well buy it now. Hold it.
It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what do we know? Like, people are stingy, right? People do not want to spend their money right now.
Right.
Even for things they might need. And that is like the blocker. So once you get through that blocker, once you word your purchase in a way to where they're going to get something plus, you just got to get through that initial barrier that they have of like, they remember how things used to be and they want to go back to it, you know. But we're never going back to it. It's like playing angelic music. Like, we're never going back. You know. Well, like my mom, and that can be a pretty powerful thing. Like that can completely lock something out of that can completely lock somebody out of the market, because, like, for example, my mom, she bought a truck 15, almost 20 years ago, right? $400 truck payment. She thought that was like the biggest car payment in the world.
Yeah.
She never bought another truck ever again in her life because she's still alive. But I'm just saying, like, as of right now, she hasn't bought another truck because she still remembers trucks being $400 a month.
And that was high.
And that was high. And she's like, until trucks are going back to $400 a month, I'm not buying another truck. And that's how powerful.
So what
that's
do
how
you think?
powerful the memory association can be.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's the monthly payments now?
Oh my God, it's like $2,400 now. It's like, well, it doubles every 10 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it used to be 400, then it went to 800. Now it's like 1,400. Now it's 1,800. No, actually, I think it could be like for like it's top tier to top tier, right? So like when my mom bought that truck, it was top tier, top of the line for what you could get.
Right.
So if you go and you buy another top tier, top of the line, whatever you can get, then yeah, it could very well be like $2,400 a month, right? Because the truck's not going to be 40, it's going to be 140,000, right? There's this guy on Instagram where he's always like, he runs a used car dealership out in like Las Vegas, and he's always like posting his phone calls where people bought like G-Wagons and the electric Hummer, and I mean they're like 180, 190, 210,000 in debt, you know, and the equity's only like 80,000. The guy's like, okay, I'll give you 80,000, you give me the truck, and then we'll figure, and you still got to figure out how to pay off like your other 80 or 90,000 that you owe. It's like it's ridiculous. Like it makes you wonder if people can even do basic math anymore.
So when you have a car payment that large or a car that's valued that high, always get gap insurance.
Gap insurance won't cover the dealership markup.
Really?
That's where people are getting in trouble.
Oh no.
That is where they're getting in trouble with it too.
I thought it covered like the whole thing.
Well, let me take it back. So, okay, actually, I take that back. I think gap insurance will cover the car payment, but I think where people are getting burned is they're having to lemon law some of their vehicles that they're buying, and if the dealership does the buyback on their car that they lemon law, the dealership's only buying back the MSRP value of the car and not the markup itself. So yeah, and I think, and I got to recheck, but it's possible because a lot of these gap insurance things are the same, and I'm pretty sure they're looking at it trying to figure out how to get out of covering the dealership markup. So yeah, maybe it might be a valid to say, like, I don't know, like I'm assuming, like you're assuming gap insurance would, I'm assuming gap insurance would, right? Because if I'm an insurance adjuster and I'm looking at this gap insurance, I'm like, okay, we can cover the value of the note of the car, but we're not covering the dealership markup. And that's a big deal too, you know, because dealership markups are just dealership markups.
It's high.
Huh?
It's high. They mark them up so high.
It's just opportunity cost, you know.
And there's a lot of people that's not gonna negotiate the higher dollar amount.
Yeah. Some dealerships are trying to get through it. They're not saying it's MSRP. They're calling it fair market value now, FMV. And I know, like when I bought my Mazda, they try to hit me with FMV. In fact, I bought one Mazda and then I went to go buy another Mazda, and then they're like, "Well, fair market value. Like we just."
Oh my gosh.
They're like, it's like it's 38. I'm like, you got price for 32. Like you just put another 6,000 on it.
Like what is that?
Yeah. So
I think that's just it's not the time to buy a car right now.
I just bought one.
You did.
No. I mean, you can be smart. There's deals out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like I know, but I think you made like a pretty strong statement there when you said I don't think it's time to buy a car right now because and that's exactly what's going on. Like these prices are just completely mentally locking people out of the market. Like, because when somebody gets in their head, like, I don't think it's a good time to buy a car right now. Okay, well, when is it ever going to be a good time to buy a car after that? And you'll find out it's never going to be. So in their head, they're already locked out of the market, and they'll never get back into the market.
Yeah.
Just like you, just like my mom, just like there's so many people just scared to even look, and everybody's just locked out. And I think that's a danger right there. And I think that's like the real hit the economy's taking right now, because you got so many people just so mentally exhausted, just so mentally locked out of even wanting to participate right now. And then you just got the question, like, when are they going to get back into the game? Are they ever going to get back into the game? Like, is there ever going to be a time my mom's ever going to buy a new truck? Because she remembers truck payments being $400 a month, and they're never gonna, you know what I mean?
And also, I think we all think that the quality of the car is probably not as good.
And that is a fair statement too. Yeah, that is a fair statement too. Now, if you're saying like, I don't think it's a good time to buy a car right now because I think the mechanical quality sucks, and I don't think it's going to get back to where it used to be. Now, that may be a fair statement, right? But like just a blanket saying, I don't think it's a good time to buy ever. Again, no matter how long, like, you know, I'm like, okay, well, what's really going on?
It's just the interest rates are so much higher on the loans. And then also, I think we worry about if we are going to have a job still.
Correct.
To be able
so
to.
So everybody has like this this separation, this anxiety, like, oh, what if we like, and it's a fear element, right?
Yeah.
And that could be a really strong thing. And it's like one of the guys that I listen to, like, what is it, like fear is a big driver. Like I don't want to do, and that used to drive a lot of my decision making too, just the fear of not having it. Now I think it's fair to be like a little cautious. Like, yeah, okay, if you're just out of college and you're still building up your experience, right? And then it's like, okay, yeah, it might be fair to say, okay, I'm afraid that I might lose my job, so I'm not going to buy anything because and that may be a fair statement. But if you're like, you know, trucking along 20 or 30 years into it, haven't lost a job yet, I mean, is it still a fair statement to say, hey, I might lose my job next year? Probably not. And then even if you did lose your job, would you have enough opportunity? Would you have more opportunity than somebody just off the street to get back into it and keep doing it? And I think these are all fair questions. And then you have to ask yourself, well, like, when does the fear element really start running your life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you base every decision you make off of worst case scenario, like, you're never going to get anywhere in life.
We just got out of that COVID fear where everyone was at a stop.
Yeah.
So businesses didn't function. A lot of people were furloughed. And then, so I know 2 people that were at my job where we were all furloughed, but they had a car payment. So I don't know how they were able to continue paying for their car payment. Plus, with our companies, we still had to pay back every month, I think, or every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we had to cut a check to the company to keep our insurance.
Yeah.
And so we're just like, we're not making any money. Like,
where's all the money at?
We're paying.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Yeah.
So I think
that might kind of go back to like being taken advantage of, right? Like the healthcare, everything, and I think that's what it kind of goes back to. Like, people are just tired of like being taken advantage of, right? Because now you're talking about like, oh, I lost my job, you know, or you're talking about you had to take some time off, sickness, whatever. Oh, but hey, by the way, you guys still got to cut us a check for your health insurance. Like, you know, it's like, whoa, you know, like, what's going on here? Like y'all need me to like keep this whole machine running, right? You know?
Yeah, I think that's where it kind of triggers. Also,
I feel like that's a key sign of like somebody being exploited, right? when they're like, you're sick, but then they're like, well, actually, we need you to still like write this check, please. I'm like, do y'all need me? Like, am I like, you know, human trafficking?
What's like human trafficking?
It's like human trafficking. It was so funny. My dad was like, they're showing us like human trafficking commercials on TV, and it's always showing like the girls or whatever, right? And then my dad made the comment. He's like, they're always showing like these Mexican girls on these like human trafficking commercials. I said, yeah, Dad, but I mean, I was like, in reality, the people who are really getting human trafficked are like you and me. You know, we're working these jobs, they're working us hard. You know, we gotta like negotiate for time off just to do like our basic stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
And then they're like, oh, well, actually, yeah, you can have it. Oh, by the way, you're almost fired because you took your time off. You know, like, oh, you gotta cut us a check for your health care. Or like, I was at my job and then, you know, somebody took one of those like DHS, like, are you forced to work? Call this phone number, and they stuck it in the, you know, it was so appropriate too, because my coworker was like, man, I really don't feel like working. I was like, look, dude,
I feel like
I pulled out the folder. I was like, you know, are you forced to work? Call this number, bro. Like,
oh my gosh. What if he really did call that number?
Hell, I want to report my employer.
They're making me work. Well, I mean.
Speaking of coworkers. Is it time?
What happened?
Time to talk about my coworker who is afraid of his job. It's happening. It's happening.
If he's afraid of his job, then that's his main job.
Imagine like you train to be a doctor and you're like, no, I don't like the sight of blood, right? So imagine you train to be for a profession and you're scared of the profession. Okay, like imagine you're a race car driver.
Yeah, I'm terrified of driving.
And I'm terrified of speed.
Yeah.
These walls are coming up way too fast. What's the sound this car is making?
There's a speed bump.
There's a speed bump. It jostles a little bit. No, and I think we need to take the car back to the pit stop and let them look at it.
Oh no.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. I'm not saying okay. So here's the question. We're 45 minutes into it. I think we're going to cap this at an hour. I didn't expect to spend this long talking about iPads and iPhones and tariffs. But that's good. That's what these podcasts are about. You just let it flow. But I think the question is that how do you institutionalize concepts such as bravery, courage, shit happens. Like, how do you institutionalize something like that into this corporate vernacular, especially when we're coming out of like the post DEI, post woke, post safe space kind of environment, right? Because that's really what's going on. Like, really, this new age of workers, and I say new age, this guy was like my age, but like how do we communicate that there might be a little bit of courage required for this job, right?
So it's whenever you change policies or whenever something changes, it takes a learning time frame to accommodate for it. So you have new rules, let's say. It's like forming a new habit. So you have to like give it time to get used to that. And then now it's like normal.
Right.
Well, now you take away certain things. You're still having to like learn that new process because now you took something away, and you have to relearn whatever it is. So it's gonna take time. Whether you add to it or take away from it, you gotta relearn.
I think I understood what you just said. I think how you explained it kind of highlights the situation we're in, because it's obviously not a problem that's going to be solved by the old school approach of how I grew up. Like, hey, you just need to man up, or whatever, or like just suck it up, buttercup. Like obviously that's not good. That's not going to work, because we live because for a lot of reasons, like on a onesie and twosie, like on a very like 1 or 2 scale, like it may work. Right, like he starts to panic a little bit, like, hey, suck it up, that type of deal, and you just use the threat of like it culminating to something bigger, that where the consequences of not sucking it up is going to outweigh, and that can help like on a singular level, like trying to navigate a thunderstorm or whatever. But like really, how do you like get into like, but how do you really put into it that like, hey, you know what? It's going to be rough, and you just might need a little grit and courage going into this future, because it may be a little unknown, and we may not quite know what we're navigating here, but you're just going to have to like put your best face forward, right?
Yeah, but he's probably young enough to where he came into the workforce during the DEI era. But for some others, they've been in the workforce before all that.
Yeah.
So they know how to like push hard and work through all the struggles. And then the new group coming in, they never had that. They never had to like experience the struggling part to get through it.
Right.
They've started when things were supposed to be accommodating to them. So now that's being taken away. Now they're struggling because they don't know how to.
So like maybe it was Marshmallow World a little bit, but now it's not Marshmallow World. Now they're starting to hit like they're starting to like, once you take away the soft veneer of like the carpet and the wallpaper.
Yeah, there's no protection.
And you realize there's like just steel with rivets beyond that, and they're starting to hit that.
Yeah. So I think that's probably how some people are experiencing things now. They got in, so like your coworker got into the program. Yeah. Because
and feels very lucky to be in too.
Yeah. But now that he has to really like go through the struggles of being in that career.
Yeah.
Things happen, right?
Yeah, of course.
But there's nothing to protect him from things happening for him now.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I think he could rely on, the captain or someone else kind of helping him through it.
I think maybe like he was used to like maybe the people that were mentoring him being much older than him.
Uh-huh.
But now that he's seeing that the people that are supposed to be mentoring him are the same age,
So he doesn't feel like he doesn't feel safe.
I had to tell him, yeah, he doesn't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Almost to a point where you have to tell him, like, hey, you have got to have some faith in the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cannot keep going on if you keep having to confirm and reconfirm and fact check
Mm-hmm.
every statement somebody makes.
Right.
Because you feel like you need to, and it's not just him, like, that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody's having, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, yes, I'm sure, and you're going to have to believe me
Mm-hmm.
and trust me.
He's not there yet.
He's not there yet.
Yeah,
And how
it's
do you
gonna take him a while then.
Yeah.
I think after a few tries of confirming, reconfirming again, he's gonna start to trust that. Okay, the first confirmation is good.
Do you think we have the industry, with the way everything's changing, are we going to have the time for people to confirm and reconfirm? No. I don't think so either.
You just gotta make that split-minute decision, and hopefully that's the best decision.
And that was what they talked about. They said you may not, just being able to make the decision,
Mm-hmm.
and it may not be the best decision, but you made a decision at the time based off of what you knew. And then you have to somehow make it and then move on with it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's really, it's that decision-making process. And it's knowing that you've made the best decision that you did at the time.
You should, next time, you should ask him if he's like a middle child.
I'll call you. And then you can ask him.
Are you a middle child?
Hey, were you the middle child?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like middle
Child syndrome.
Yeah, they have a tough time deciding on things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that offhand. I'm not a middle child. We're not middle
No,
children.
we're the babies.
We make decisions.
This
We
is
make
really
bad
good.
decisions.
This is really good coffee.
Is it?
I feel like it's kind of hidden a little bit.
The Americana?
Yeah. Where you start like seeing things at like a different level. Like, oh. Or maybe it's the music too. The music's saying at like a different level.
It's hypnotic.
It's all hypnotic. Yeah, it's appropriate podcast
Yeah.
music too. So
Okay.
I think we covered everything. 51
We did.
minutes, 52
Yeah.
minutes, 40 seconds. Okay. I think this was a good podcast. So we'll get this fact checked, loaded up. Fact check. We don't fact check nothing. We'll get this loaded up and we'll until next time. Okay.
No feedbacks, please.
8 viewers maybe.
All right.
Take care.
Next time. Bye.
See ya.